Hey there, buddies! Welcome to another episode of the LIT.BUDS. Today, we have another enticing story to review, and that story is no other than the Iliad. Let me introduce to you our story of the day. The Iliad is a war literature and an epic poem authored by the ancient Greek poet Homer. Written in the mid-8th century BCE, it explores themes of glory, wrath, honor, and fate. It is usually considered to be the earliest work in the whole Western literary tradition and one of the best known and loved stories of all time. The Iliad has provided subjects and stories for many other later Greek, Roman, and Renaissance writings. Isn't it interesting?
Yes, it is. So the story goes like this. It begins 10 years into the siege of Troy and the Greek forces led by Agamemnon. Achilles and Agamemnon are quarreling about whether or not to return Chryseis, the priestess of Apollo and Trojan captive of King Agamemnon, to her father. When Agamemnon refuses, Apollo sent a plague. Agamemnon will agree to give Chryseis back only if Achilles will give him Briseis, Achilles' war prize.
I will continue the story. Achilles, dishonored, filled with anger, withdraws from the war. As a result, the Trojans, led by Hector, are able to drive Greeks back to their ships. Achilles' best friend died, which led him to return to combat. Achilles killed every Trojan in his path until he finally meets Hector into a man-to-man battle.
Thank you for that, LIT.BUDS, Dhaina, and Romyrl. How about our other LIT buddies? What can you say about our story for today?
Well, the plot of the story is well structured and the whole story is full of suspense. The events presented are hard to predict, and that's why the story can really caught the attentions of the readers. The setting is also appropriate to the genre, and the characters are also well developed. They are truly convincing, and it seems that they are alive whenever I read their lines.
I want to commend Homer because I think he's really a great author. His way of writing this epic poem is clear, and I've also read in study.com that he used different literary devices such as metaphor, irony, allusion, foreshadowing, and simile. One example of metaphor is the line Achilles fought like a lion.
I agree with you, LIT.BUDS Sharmaine. Homer's purpose for writing the Iliad is to maintain the historical story of the Greek and Trojan war. I can say that he fulfilled his purpose because up until now, the story of the Iliad is being taught in schools, and in that way, the story of the historical war remain alive.
Oh, I have also read from the ancientliterature.com that Homer is recognized as one of the most greatest poets, but he is such a mystery for many. And there's a possibility that Homer heard singer poets narrates about the stories of the Trojan War, and that's how he came up with the story of Iliad.
Wow! All thoughts about this story are great. One thing that I have learned about this story is that no one can really escape fate no matter how hard we try.
What I have learned about this story is that love is greater than pride. I have seen this when Priam kissed Achilles' hand just to bring home Hector's body. Though that act was humiliating, Priam still did it because of his great love for his son. This reminded me of the sacrifice and love that fathers can offer for their children.
And wrath can impact the decision making of a person, just like when Achilles wanted to kill Agamemnon.
In addition, I have learned that honor is really important even way back then. It is one thing that people really treasure even up to the present time.
I have also figured out that there are people who value friendship really well. Just like how Achilles valued his friend Patroclus, I also value my friends so much.
All in all, we can say that the Iliad is really one of the best stories of all time. Though it has some brutal scenes, it still adds to the suspense of the story. The characters and plots are well developed, and the scenes presented in the story can still be reflected on the current situations of today. So, for our LIT buddies out there, we recommend you to read this story. I'm sure you will learn a lot. And by that, we will end this episode. Thank you for listening.